So when he said to me, you weren't ready to be in this relationship, neither of us was ready to be in this relationship, but you, Tasha, you needed therapy when I met you. Hey guys, thanks for clicking this video. So this is my fiance Sam, if you're new to my page, and we recently had a conversation that was so real, raw, and authentic that I suggested we put it on tape and share it with you guys, because as always I like to be open and let you into what it is that I'm currently learning, what I'm experiencing, how I'm coming through things and getting to the other side. And I felt like this was an important dialogue that might help someone else out there have some takeaways. So we recently had a discussion sitting in the car, and we came to a conclusion that neither of us was ready to get into this relationship when we first met. Now, I know what you're thinking. That doesn't mean that we're separating or that we don't feel like we are supposed to be together at this point in our lives. But the truth of the matter is,
I think that from the standpoint of, well, at least from my vantage point, I wasn't ready because I feel like I should have been more financially ready to be in a relationship. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I know there's no perfect financial situation, but you know, I had just got my first full-time job ever, you know, in the industry in which I worked so hard to try to, you know, get a college degree in. And then for her,
I was working 3 jobs. I was trying to find ways to take care of myself, take care of Birdie, keep a roof over our head. I lived alone at the time, so all the responsibilities fell on me. And I was exhausted when we first met. Do you remember? Because I had a night job working at a dog daycare, and I would start at midnight. And remember how hard that was when I would have to wake up and go to that job? So we were in similar situations. Obviously, I think you were a little bit more far along than I was.
yeah, for me, I think for me, I had just been here. I've been here for a year in LA. You know, I graduated from school, been here for a year in LA. And I was still trying to gain my footing, you know, from a standpoint of, like, I had good jobs, you know, but in terms of gaining my footing, I think that being in a position where I had a more firm grasp of my long-term career goal as opposed to what I needed short-term in order to sustain my life here in Los Angeles, I think that would have helped benefit me in us meeting a little bit better and being able to, like, you know, do different things.
So that's one aspect of it, not realizing the responsibilities that come with getting into a relationship, a serious relationship, especially one that you know from the jump you are hoping is going to gear towards marriage. So that's the first aspect of it. And the second aspect was Sam said something to me that I think a lot of other women might find offensive, but I wasn't able to take offense to it because I knew just how much accuracy was spoken when he told me this.
And what was that?
So you said to me that when we first met, I wasn't ready to be in a relationship because I needed therapy. Do you remember that?
Oh, okay, yeah, I do remember that now.
And the truth of the matter is, I was telling somebody this recently, and someone, it was a female, and they were like, wait, that's so offensive. And I was like, no, actually it's not, because he's not lying. I really did. I was in dire need of therapy when we first met. So here's the deal on that.
So it's clear, I didn't say that because I was trying to be, you know, some sort of tool or something.
No, he wasn't being an a-hole.
I said that
No.
because I felt like we needed a real honest reality check in terms of what was going on, because like certain things that I felt like should have been normal in terms of communication, that stuff wasn't normal at the time.
Let me speak my truth in that term, because I want to always keep it 100 with you guys. I didn't see healthy relationships growing up. I didn't know what a healthy relationship was. I thought, I grew up with brothers. We teased each other a lot, and even in my relationships with my siblings, we probably shouldn't have been getting away with a lot of the things that we were getting away with, which is what we've discussed in terms of speaking in a certain tone to people, calling people out of their names, you know.
You know, I think one of the big things that people miss in relationships is like, especially when you're talking about trying to create some sort of family together or something along those lines, you just can't say whatever it is that just comes to your mind. Like, you've got to find a way to be able to say things to people that is not going to be like dumping gasoline on a small match, and then it explodes and it turns into something bigger. You know, there's many ways to tell someone that you don't like something, as opposed to going about it in a way that is hurtful, unkind, or something that's going to lacking compassion, or something that's going to scar somebody.
So, coming back full circle real quick, I'll be scrolling through Instagram and I'll always see these quotes where, oh, you gotta work on yourself and you can't be in a relationship unless you 100% love you and blah, blah, blah. And it all sounds magical and wonderful. And of course, who doesn't want to be 100%, knowing of themselves and have come full circle from their traumas and their various issues before they find the one, so they don't bring baggage into the relationship. But how many of us are actually stopping to do that? Now, it's not to say that I hadn't done or continue to do a lot of the necessary work that is absolutely crucial for my self-healing, to heal a lot of the traumas that I carried, not only from past relationships, but from childhood. What would you say in terms of that?
I think you're right in that, there's a certain delusion that I feel like we are sold as human beings about our lives and what our lives are supposed to be. Like, I was once under this delusion that, you graduate from high school, you go to college, you find a girl of your dreams, and then you get out of college and get this great job and make $100,000 a year, and y'all ride off into the sunset and have a great life. And it's just not the reality of what life is for so many people. It's something that we either hear, and it's what other people's dreams or fantasies were before we were born, and that they thought they missed out on a certain portion of life, so they're trying to project that on you. And it doesn't have to be family members. It could be just people that you come up around you or whatever it is as a kid. I think people need to look more at reality and a lot less into the dreams that we're sold.
And I mean, that's why I say, when I see those things on Instagram, it's cute and all, but how many of us are actually abiding by that? I didn't know I was going to meet Sam when I did. I didn't know that I was going to fall in love when I did, and in the time frame that we did, or that I was going to meet this man that was encompassing of a lot of things that I had hoped for. And I mean, I was just coming through so many difficult various challenges in my life, and then a few weeks later, here he is. I think I would have been a fool to pass that up. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So it's not to say that I'm not still doing the work necessary, but how many of us actually wait to get into relationships, especially when you have this amazing person standing in front of you? You're not going to be like, oh, hold on 1 second, I'm going to be right back. I got to go do this, this, and this before I get into the situation.
Because people aren't going to wait for you. That's also the reality of it. Nobody's going to wait for you. You got to get yourself together.
And maybe it was selfish, because I mean, somebody's called me out before and been like, well, maybe it was selfish for you to get into a relationship because you were still handling certain things.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that they don't know the intricacies of what it is that I was dealing with as well. Like, it depends on whether or not you at a certain place, and whether or not the person that is trying to be with you is willing to be able to deal with the stuff that it is that you bring into the table.
Right.
And thankfully for you, I feel like a lot of the stuff was not like, it was more mental baggage as opposed to permanent baggage, which
it could have been permanent if I wasn't open to working on it.
It could have been.
And if I wasn't, and a lot of times I wasn't always open. And let's just be real.
And we still working on it.
Of course, yeah.
I think
that's sorry, I didn't interrupt you. I think that's a lifelong thing, because we're constantly growing and evolving as human beings. So we're going to constantly be changing. And in order for us to grow and evolve into the best versions of ourselves, there's going to need to be new things that come at you, and you finding new ways to get over those hurdles.
And practice.
Yeah.
You have to practice. There's been times where I've said stuff that I shouldn't have said, or she said something that she should not have said.
Right.
And we have to rewind that and pause for a second and practice in that moment and be like, no, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry, I should have said this. And then you have to go back and re-practice it, like almost basically relive that entire moment and then say the right thing. So you're training your brain to go, hey, I can't keep continuing this pattern of behavior, because not only is it detrimental to me, but it's detrimental to what it is that I'm trying to build with this person.
One thing that I do want to leave you guys with that I think is crucial to work for you to make relationships work, to make any relationship work, whether intimate, friendships, otherwise, is honesty. Honesty not only with your partner, but honesty within yourself. So when he said to me, you weren't ready to be in this relationship, neither of us was ready to be in this relationship, but you, Tasha, you needed therapy when I met you. I didn't get upset because, and I think that's another one of the reasons why whatever challenges him and I face, we're able to overcome. I'm not somebody that gets offended when you tell me the truth. And you could probably vouch for that.
Yeah.
Because I know myself enough to know he's not trying to be hurtful. And yeah, I did carry a lot of messy stuff with me. I have a lot of things going on up here that need to be fixed within here. So why would I be offended at the fact that he's telling me something out of care, not to be a diss? He wasn't trying to be disrespectful. He was letting me know, hey, it probably would have benefited you if this and this and this. But like I said at the beginning of this video, it doesn't mean that we don't love each other and that we're trying to leave each other. It's, hey, this is a cold truth about what I felt about almost 4 years ago when I met you, and now let's take that foundation and build upon it. And let's try to make whatever changes we need to make going forward so that we can build a long, sustainable, healthy relationship where we can eventually have a family together and bring kids into it, and it's a healthy environment, you know, where we love and respect each other, and even when we make mistakes, we can say, hey, my bad, I'm sorry about that. Let me learn. Tell me what it is that I can do better next time so that I can bring a better version of myself to this.
And definitely make sure you fix that stuff before you, I feel like, this is my opinion, and, you know, I feel like this right now, you know, with my limited knowledge of life, make sure you fix that stuff before you have children, because children are very, very moldable, and they follow what they see, and then you can literally scar the next generation of human beings from your inability to make sure that you have what it is that you need in order for you to be healthy, and, up here and in here. Which
is something that Sam and I have agreed on, that before we bring kids into this world, we require certain levels of stability in various places of our lives, and one of them being
financial,
right,
and then emotionally and
mentally. Because for me, as a woman, I don't want the same things to happen to my kids that unfortunately I had to endure, that at the age of 31 I'm still undoing and unlearning, and I know everybody does the best they can with what they have. So my parents did the best they could with what they knew, but it's upon me, and I feel like it's my responsibility that the knowledge that I have now, especially living in a world where we are surrounded by consciousness and the power to learn more about, you know, being more awakened on a spiritual level, what I do and do not want to pass down to human beings and the life that I'm going to create inside of me, that I just think it's unfair, and it would be selfish to do that, which is why we, you know, prioritize talking about our relationship, fixing things as individuals.
Gotta communicate.
Yeah, and
communication is the hardest part, man.
Doing the work necessary in order to, like I always say, grow and become best version of self, and then best version of this team that we have right here.
Right.
Alright guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I love the feedback that you guys give me when you guys DM me, email me, leave a comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. I would love to hear from you guys, and as always, we're wishing you well on your journey.